Hi guys, I'm Karen from Makeup and Beauty Blog, and today I've got the new MAC Flamingo Park collection. It's the spring collection for MAC, and I'll have an overview of the blushes, the lipsticks, cream sheens, the palette, lots of good stuff. But before we get into that, can I just show you some things? I love flamingos. I love them. They are my favorite bird, and I love them so much that I needed to share these with you. They're my flamingo shorts. Oh, I got these at Old Navy last year, and they're like my fave. I don't know if it was last year or the year before last. They're like my favorite pair of shorts. Good luck to me getting back into these after baby girl is born. And, okay, I have like flamingo sheets. These are by Martha Stewart. I love these. This is my pillowcase, by the way. Anyways, yeah, flamingos, totally my jam. So I was really excited about this collection because, first of all, it's so springy and so bright and colorful. We've got like tons of bright blushes, you know, lots of brightly colored lipsticks, and I've got the collection on my face right now. And also, you know, the imagery I think is really beautiful. Like, just close your eyes for a second and like picture in your mind a beautiful lush green spring park, and like the sun is out. There's no clouds in the sky, and you're surrounded, you're having a picnic, and this picnic, there's like donuts and cake and tea and all the yummy knobs that you love so much, and then like you're kicking it with a flock of flamingos. How awesome would that be? Actually, I think I may have had this dream. It was a pregnancy dream. And it looked a little like this, Flamingo Park. So kind of crazy, kind of wacky, kind of beautiful, the combination that I love so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the makeup. Let's start off with, I think we'll start off with the blushes, and there's 7 of them. And like I said, some of them are really intense, and I like to split them up into 2 groups. The first group is like the bright, intense group of like super pigmented, uber pigmented blushes. I'm talking these are like way pigmented. I tried each one of these on recently, and like with a couple of the shades, like actually with all these shades, like Life's a Picnic and Let's Be Friends, I really had to like take most of it off of my blush. Like seriously, like a half a swipe will do both cheeks, and then you still may have to buff it down in order for it to like look more natural. If you are like a girl who loves an intense flush of color, I think you will really appreciate these blushes. Or if you're a woman of color and you love like a bright, intense flush on the cheeks, you will absolutely flip over these shades. Okay, the second group they're the more like wearable shades. We've got some corals, some pinks, like good old Pink Swoon, which is the only re-promote I believe out of the bunch. And then there's like this color here, Spring Flock, which I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. This is a satiny, no, actually this is a matte pinkish coral. And then there's like what I fancy. Now these are the more like natural colors, but at the same time, I do have to say these are just as pigmented as the brights. They're very easy to wear though. I think easier to wear because they're not like as intense. Anyway, let's look up some swatches, shall we? Okay, so the next point of interest I would have to say in this collection, the lipsticks. Oh, there's so many of them, and they're so pretty. Again, I like to think of these in terms of like the brights and like the more wearable colors. You know, we've got mostly mattes with some cream sheens thrown up in the mix. Now, I'm wearing one of the mattes, and this is probably my favorite out of the bunch. This one is Be Silly. Let me show it to you right here. Where is it? Where are you, Be Silly? Hold on a second. Yeah, it's this shade right here, and this is a hot fuchsia pink matte shade, and there's a bunch of them, and I have to let me point out the ones that I think are stellar, like exceptional and worth like checking out first. Okay, the first one is Flocking Fabulous. First of all, I love the name. How can you not love the name Flocking Fabulous? This is like a cream sheen and pearl, and it's a bright coral red, and it kind of reminds me of the MAC Viva Glam Cindy shade that MAC did a while back. It's got that same sort of corally red vibe and that creaminess and that smoothness that that particular shade had. So this is very, very pretty on the lips, I think. Okay, the other one is Be Silly, and that's the one that I'm wearing right now. This is a matte formula, and I really like this one because it's smooth, it's bright, and it's one of those colors that you wouldn't think would necessarily go with a lot just because it's so distinctive, but it surprisingly does. It works well with corals, which you can see from the coral cheek that I have on, and then like with pinks and kind of like taupey shades as well. I've got sort of like this grayish purpley taupe on my lids, and warm red browns. Another one that I think is worth checking out is Have Your Cake, and this is a bright magenta matte. It is, let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Have Your Cake, it's a shade right here. And like I was saying, it's also a bright magenta matte, and it, like Be Silly, is super opaque, very smooth, really, really pretty. Another one that I think is worth noting is the online exclusive. It's called Fashion Flock, and it's a bright coral pink matte shade. Now within this group there are a couple repromotes, good old Saint Germain and Please Me. So now let's take a second to look at these swatches as well, just so you can get an overview of what the lipsticks look like. Okay, so along with the lipsticks, there's also a group of 5 cream sheen glasses. Now, these I think are a nice counterpoint to the lipsticks in the collection. Seeing how the lipsticks are mostly super intense, super bright. These are more of like your softer, more wearable, neutral, not neutral necessarily neutral, but more like nude for this type of collection. So I like all of them. I think the only one that I wasn't too crazy about is this shade called Such Sweeties. It's kind of basic. I mean, it's like a soft pink, and I feel like you can find this anywhere, but the other ones, oh my gosh, let's just talk about this. Okay, first of all, there's Look Who's Here, and this is like it looks kind of boring in the tube, but once you get on the lips, it's absolutely beautiful. It's like a soft, bluish pink, and it's got blue pearl in it. So when you've got it on your lips and you can see it in the light, the blue pearl kind of like peeks through, and it's very surprising. It's not like anything you would expect. Now, the turned up version of this shade is Playful Petal. So this also has like blue pearl in it, but it's bigger pieces. So if like Look Who's Here is your daytime shade, Playful Petal is what you'd wear at night. And this one is also gorgeous when you get it in the light and it sparkles. It's like, oh, it's so, so pretty. The other two that I think are worth checking out, Petite Indulgence, which you've seen before, but it's an oldie but goodie, and Sweet Tooth, which is like a warm pink. Now the cream sheens are fantastic. I don't know if you've tried them before, but they are a little different than the regular MAC like lip glosses. They're not as sticky. I find that the formula has like a little bit more slip, so you can move your lips around. It feels really comfortable, and they're so moisturizing. They have that classic MAC vanilla taste and scent too. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing some traveling this spring, these are great to take with you on the plane because they're so moisturizing. I always bring at least one tube with me when I travel. So let's go ahead and look at some swatches of these. Okay, so moving on, we've got the beauty powders. Ah, you know I love these. There's the classic Pearl Blossom, which you've seen so many times before, and it's also in the permanent line, but you know what? You can't go wrong with Pearl Blossom. It's like the Hourglass Ambient powders, but like a pink version. It's got a soft sort of reflective quality to it that gives the skin some radiance, but it's not like OTT, which is one of the reasons why I love it and have gone through countless pounds. I first saw this in MAC, Barbie Loves MAC, by the way, and it was like love at first sight, and I still love it. Okay, I was really excited about this shade, Sunny Surprise, and this one is, it's like a soft peach, and I do have to say it's a really soft peach. I'm wearing it on my upper cheekbones and down the bridge of my nose. And it's a lot softer than I thought it would be, meaning that I almost wish that it had a bit more sparkle to it. It's not, the sheen is there, but it's so subtle, it's almost too subtle. And you know me, I love a like subtle highlight, but this one's almost too subtle. It's also pretty light. I would say it would be better for paler skin tones. I have it on, I feel like it doesn't flatter my warm sort of like tan skin as much as it would like a paler skin tone. I'm a MAC NC42, by the way, for reference. Okay, some quick swatches of those. Da, da, da. Okay, lastly, we've got this eyeshadow ×9. There's a few eye products in this collection. In addition to this, some pigments, a couple of eye pencils, but this is probably the one that you are looking forward to because it's all about that palette life, hashtag that palette life. Anyway, this is one of the eyeshadow ×9 palettes, and they've got like smaller pans compared to the regular MAC singles. But you know, it's not a big deal because you can travel with this, which I think is great. And also I find that regular eyeshadow brushes fit right into the pans. There's no drama with it. However, when these first came out, I think it was last year, I have to be honest, I thought that they were just okay. I mean, I wasn't really wowed by them. It just seemed like in general, the quality of the shadows wasn't up to par with the regular singles you can find in MAC's permanent line. But I feel as though like with this palette, they've stepped up their game a little bit. I don't know if they received like some feedback or whatever, but this is a lot better than I thought it would be. Meaning like I didn't have to pile as much on and I didn't experience as much fallout as I have with these shadows in the past. Now I'm wearing several of these shades. I'm wearing this like light kind of pinkish coral shade. I popped this into my crease and then I sandwiched this right underneath it. This is more of like a deeper coral. And then I stuck this like satiny sort of purpley gray on my lids. It looks a little bit like MAC Satin Taupe, but it's not. It's a little bit more purple. And then I smudged this matte brown along my upper and lower lash lines. Now these colors, they seem like unexpected at first, but when you think about the rest of the collection, I think that they fit in really nicely. Like this pop of blue right here plays against the like blue pearl that you see in the cream sheen glasses, and like this green right here kind of plays off the pinks, and it's just a nice refreshing sort of contrast to all the pinks and the purples and everything in this collection. Okay, so yeah, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this overview of MAC Flamingo Park and the swatches as well. And I'll have, all the technical details in the description box down below. I'll have the release date, I'll have prices, I'll have listings of all the colors and everything and all that good stuff. So if you have a question about that, check the description box. I'm sure you'll find the answer. And if you don't, you can always ask me. And I'll have additional pictures and swatches on the blog as well. And I'll link that down below too. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hey! And subscribe so I can see your beautiful face again. And thank you so much again for watching, and me and my flamingos. We'll see you again soon. Bye guys.